So guys, what's up? Been a long time. I know I've been away. I know I've been missing in action, but I've been so busy doing lots of coachings, lots of sessions with clients, face-to-face sessions in Nairobi. It's been amazing. I've also been traveling. It's time I should now settle back home where I belong. Anyway guys, I'm going to do a short video just to show you some of the sectors and the companies that are likely to thrive under the Ruto's administration. Of course, everyone knows Ruto is now the new president of Kenya, the 5th president of Kenya, and we need to start thinking of the future economic growth of this country. And if you're going to be looking at that, you want to look at it in terms of which are those sectors or companies that are likely, which are those sectors or companies that will likely grow during his administration. All these people have their personalities, they have their interests, they have their subjectivity, they have their own investments. So that way you can always tell which sectors and which specific companies can actually thrive under different administration. Otherwise guys, welcome back as usual here at Kenneth MoneyMatters to talk about the money mindset, how to make that money, how to enjoy that money, how to manage that money, how to invest that money, and how to assure yourself of a lifetime of income, basically financial freedom. So, Ruto has taken over power. Recently, I wrote a post and I did a video on why you should be using this as a time marker to achieve your financial goals. So we have 10 years from now. 10 years is a long time, but also a very short time if you do not plan yourself well. So if you want to get something substantial, if you want to be somewhere financially speaking in the next 10 years, this can be a perfect time marker for you and say, hey, when Ruto hands over that power once again to someone else, then I will be in this position financially. Then do your calculations. I've done a video on it. Watch that video, do your calculations and see where you want to be. You decide where you want to be depending on how consistent you are, how disciplined you are, and of course, how you're making your cash flow. Because for you to invest or to make money, you must have some cash flow. So what is giving you cash flow? Is it a skill? Is it a business? Is it a job? It doesn't matter where the cash flow is coming from really, as long as you can use that cash flow to achieve your financial objectives. Anyway, let's go back to where we're supposed to be today. I'm going to be looking at a few companies, and this won't be a long video. Just a few companies. It's more like a selfie video actually. I'm doing it on my phone, so the lighting might not be as great. The sound is going to be good. It's a really good phone. And I have a really good microphone, so I hope it's gonna be good. Feedback. But this is just more like a selfie type video. We are looking at some of the companies that are likely to thrive under Ruto's administration, and I'm gonna look at it by sector. So that will help you determine which sectors you need to look into. So I'm just going to tell you the sectors and maybe mention a few companies that I think would do great. Now, don't take this as a full recommendation. Everyone has very personal circumstances or personal preferences to their finances. If you need individual consultation, remember I'm available. We can always look at what your interests are and what would actually do well for you. But here I'm just giving general recommendation, general knowledge for consumption, guys. So don't rush and go and buy these companies right now before you can do a proper financial analysis on your situation. One of the sectors I'm looking at right now, right here on my laptop, is the agricultural sector. Now, of course, everyone knows about Ruto's policies. Everyone knows about Ruto's bottom-up economic model, which if you don't know much about, I beseech you to go and read about the bottom-up economic model. It has some really good pointers, some really good things without the political connotations. But bottom-up economic model can work, has worked in some countries, in some jurisdictions, but there is no guarantee it will work for us. But in any way, if you're going to spur economic development in a country and you want to start from the people down there, as Ruto has always been saying, he wanted to empower farmers. He wants to empower the agricultural sector. The first thing he did, as you saw, was reduce the price of fertilizer. But that might not be a long-term solution for now. There are other ways it can be done. I don't have a problem with what he did. Lowering that was an impetus for those who are in the agricultural sector to actually produce more. Basically, why am I saying that the agricultural sector is likely to do well? Because Ruto has been pro-agriculture. He has been pro-agriculture. He's a farmer himself. I do believe Yeah, if that's true, I don't know. Let me know. But he's a farmer, and he has always been so pro agriculture, so pro farmers, and he wants food produced at least locally. Fun enough, he actually has farms outside the country. That's a topic for another day. But he has always been, let's empower the farmers, let's put money in their pockets, let's reduce the fertilizer prices, let's give them the resources they need so that they can produce more and more and more. If he is going to continue that same spirit, and if he is going to invest in the agricultural sector and reduce those killing, and reduce the extreme prices that people face in terms of the resources they need for farming, then this is one industry you may want to look into. Now, what are some of the companies we have there? We have Kapchorwa, we have BAT, we have Kakuzi, we have different companies in the agricultural sector. So you want to look at which company would be okay for you in the agricultural sector. So that is just one sector that would likely do well. There are different companies under that sector that you could actually settle on. I've just mentioned but a few. Another one that I believe will do really well is, some people say financials, but I call it insurance. Ruto has always been in the insurance industry. If you know the company is owned by Ruto, which again you can read anywhere, they are public, he is always in the insurance industry. And of course, where someone's interest lies, that's where their money is going to lie. And that's where most people are going to invest. So the insurance industry is likely to do well based on the fact that he's always invested heavily in that industry. So you always want to look at where the who are putting their money, because you put your money where your mouth is. So the insurance industry has always done well so far. It's been okay in Kenya, to be honest. It's a growing industry, very vibrant, lots of money moving around in that industry. I believe with the Ruto's presidency and with his interest in that particular sector, the insurance industry is likely to do amazingly well. Now, let's look at some of the companies in the insurance industry that you'd actually be looking into. We have Kenya Re, for instance. We have Jubilee, we have Sanlam, we have CIC Insurance, we have Liberty, and others that classify themselves as financials, but they still have insurance products. So these are companies you may look into. You know some of these names. They have been here for years and years and years, but maybe it's time now to look into them seriously if you want to buy some shares. I always say, if you go into a sector, don't take everything in the sector. Choose the best within that particular sector. But like I say, there are some really good names in the ones I've just mentioned that could change a lot during Ruto's tenure. The third sector is energy sector. The energy sector is gonna thrive with time. As we speak right now, fuel prices have just gone up, tokens have just risen. So the subsidies that were there by President Uhuru Kenyatta have been brought down, so prices are going to go up a bit. But subsidies don't help economy grow. Subsidies and incentives, too many incentives, don't help economies grow. So sometimes even these things going high doesn't mean that Ruto is not performing well or anything is happening. It will just mean that there were certain things that were put in place to cushion people, but they cannot be long-term economic policies to actually develop a country. So right now, if you think about it, the energy sector is going to do quite well, because I know if they do away with the subsidies and start putting in economic policies that can actually reduce energy prices, not because of subsidies, but because of strong foundations, because of strong policies, and because of manufacturers and production that will be made cheaper. And if they're made cheaper, then they're able to reduce everything else. The energy sector is going to grow with time. I believe it, I know it. You saw that people are doubling their positions on KPLC. People like Ndindi Njoro, who is now the largest individual shareholder in KPLC. So if you think of it in that sense, the energy sector is going to grow. Always look at where people are going into. People who have been there for a long time. People are in power, because whether you like it or not, economics are controlled by politics and by power. So if we look at the energy sector, what I see is growth. I see lots of growth in the energy sector in terms of take off the subsidies, take off the incentives, start working on policies that can actually change the foundation. What actually caused the problem, and can that be sorted out? How is manufacturing? How is your import? How is your export doing? How is the currency in itself doing? How is it valued? These are the things that we need to look into that could then lead to natural growth in that particular sector, and it will be a good growth for most people. So if we look at Kenya Power, we look at Umeme, we look at Kengen, we look at Total, we look at BOC. So the energy sector will do well. The other one that I believe will do well is the banking industry. With a bottom-up economic model, money in the hands of the people. I don't know if they will achieve it or if it will be realistic, but if that is what's going to happen, if we're going to empower farmers, we're going to empower the normal Kokoteni person, the normal Mamamboga person, what happens? Banking is going to increase. And banking sector has done well in Kenya so far. And I always tell people, if you want to have a good stock, go to the banking sector. We have so many in that sector. We have Diamond, Stanbic, Coop Bank, KCB, Stanchart, Equity, Absa Bank, so many options for you to actually choose from, depending on what you actually want, depending on the kind of growth you're looking into, depending on the kind of returns you're looking into, and depending on the kind of research you'll be doing. So the banking sector is going to do well. The banking sector is also tied to the financial industry and the insurance industry, and that means if the insurance industry is going to do well, then you can be sure that the banking sector will do well. So guys, these are some of the companies I would want you to look into. And if you're looking at agriculture sector, look at the food sector as well. They are also tied and linked together. So these are some of the areas you're going to look into during Ruto's administration, and you're likely going to make money in the next 10 years. You just need to stay the course, remain consistent, stay disciplined, and buy the same stocks. Don't buy too many. You can choose one per sector, or two in one of the sectors that you like so much, but don't have too many stocks. Have good, solid stocks. If you want help with that, always look for me at kensmoneymatters.com. Otherwise, guys, see you next time. Thank you and out.